Okay, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. This is Glenn Rockney here with Matt Fallon. We're going to do a couple mailbag questions, the last podcast before the draft. Matt's really excited. He thinks the Raiders are going to crush it. I'm a little skeptical. I don't think they're going to draft very well. But anyways, yeah, how you doing, Matt?
I don't think I ever said the Raiders were going to crush it.
But. Yeah, nah, I got it right here, man. It says Matt Fallon Shield Avi. Oh, you changed it to a Shield Avi and put numbers in your name? Damn, dude. Oh shit. Yeah, it's a new day. Okay. Hey, I like the optimism.
Dude, honestly, it's weird that if they do something like normal, I'm crushed. Yeah. It's crushed. We just crushed that. Doing something just completely normal. Don't fuck it up. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's jump right into it. These mailbag questions. Got a few good ones. Some ones I was not expecting. Damn. So let's see. Let's start off the bat here. I like this one because this one set me in a daze this morning. This is from Gus Gare, and let's see. He says, rumors swirling around about Jamin Davis being in play at 17. If we're going to reach for our guy, who is the guy you would take at 17 that everyone else had a second round grade on? Now, let's start with the first half of the question, because that Jamin Davis, we got to talk about that. Albert Breer reports today on Sports Illustrated, Monday Morning Quarterback. It says the Raiders really like Jamin Davis, and Gus Bradley likes him to play like Sam linebacker on third down and rush the passer, which he has no tape really of him rushing the passer. What are you going to do?
I mean, Davis is a guy that I like. Mm-hmm. We've talked about him on the show, and I was thinking third, fourth round. When we talked about him in the past. Obviously, his draft hype is kind of swirled, and if we took him second, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah.
No, but when we started talking about him, it was third or fourth round, and so then what tends to happen is draft Twitter. People like to give draft Twitter a hard time, but I've been following college football and watching tape and for a long time. And generally what happens is when the draft process goes through, there's a guy that draft Twitter loved way before the hype started coming. Mm-hmm. And Davis is probably that guy. Everybody's been kind of high on him for a while. And just now, all of a sudden, NFL teams it's leaking that NFL teams feel the same way. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that is that big of a reach that the Raiders like him. I do think that maybe this happens every year too, where they're this team loves this guy. Then he comes up and they pass on him. Not the Raiders, but other teams too. Then they take him in the second or the third. So it could be one of those situations, which I hope. I could think of a lot better, ways to spend pick number 17 than honestly, people are high on, Jock, and they're high on Parsons, and I'm man, it's just such a off-ball linebacker is just the bottom need for me for the team. I know the linebacker play has been bad for a long time, but they have $19.2 million tied up into the linebacker position. They have no safety. They have no corners that I trust. So it's there's just so many other needs on this team that if Parsons fell, you'd have to consider it. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge Parsons guy. People have asked me that. I know we have some other mailbag questions coming on him.
A lot of stuff about him. I wouldn't blow that yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump into that.
Yeah,
right
now. There's a lot of questions.
As far as the Jamin Davis thing goes, I just think that maybe that's a little bit of a reach. And I think the second half of the question last year, my guy was Jeremy Chin, and I was if we take him at 19, I'm not upset. Mm-hmm. And everybody had a second round grade on him. I think he ended up going in the second.
He went in the second.
Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he ended up being just amazing for them last year. So, if I had to say who that guy was for me, it'd be Richie Grant. If they took him at 17, I would not be pissed. Okay. I'd be you know what, that fills a need. He's, to me, the best safety in the class. I like him more than I like Morrig, to be honest, as far as fit for the Raiders goes. So that'd be, for me, it'd be him.
Okay. Yeah, and I had to think about this because I'm the same way. And for me, I was talking to some film guys about this too, and they're Jamin Davis is not a pass rusher. They're he's clearly a coverage off-ball linebacker, which you just paid Corey Littleton to do. I'm not as opposed to linebacker at 17 as you are. You could talk me into JOK or Parsons there, but again, we'll get to that. But it would be a classic case at 17 because I think there is something to this story. Albert Breer I'm doing kind of the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia conspiracy theory thing with this, but Albert Breer used to work at the NFL Network, GM for the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me, worked for NFL Network.
And I
And
think he nailed the Cleveland Farrell pick like weeks ahead of time too.
something it got and let's be real, some of the Raiders, I remember there was hype around Ruggs last year. They're like, I think they're going to take Ruggs. There were some people saying that. And then there was the Colton Miller one in 2018. That was basically like we all didn't believe it as fans, but there were a lot of people saying they were taking Colton Miller, like no matter what in the first round.
They have a lot of leaks in that building, and like since Gruden's been there, there's not a lot of secrets. Like,
no, they had to send the scouts home to take Cleveland Farrell. Send the scouts home. So it's like
we're going to send the scouts home to take Jamin Davis.
I'm just hoping that it's lost in translation, that they're like, oh, they like him day 2. I'm like, fine, day 2, fine. I have no problem with that. I think you're taking a quality player. I think he's a fine player. I actually kind of like him. He's not. I mean, I take him in all those freaking PFF simulators, I feel like. But
no matter where you take him, you can take him 200. They give you a C.
Yeah, but I like Jabril Cox more. Even then, like I like Jabril Cox more.
If we take him, I'm honestly I can't log into Twitter for like it's just going to be a shit show. But first off, you're going to get the fan base is going to go off the deep end, and then you're going to get the media just ripping the Raiders for 6 months.
Yeah, and then I to answer Gus's question, I'd say Brady Christensen. I actually really like Brady Christensen, that tackle. I like
he's
him.
He's the only one that really fits like Cable.
The thresholds. Like, he still even then doesn't really like. It's like
he doesn't. No, I think Eichenberg. I think Eichenberg might.
No, he just missed it too. But Marcus Johnson.
They're the closest ones though. They're like
they did a tape don't lie thing on it. It's the guys that fit it. I'm out. Like the guys that fit it for tackle, I'm like, let's
Spencer Brown like one of them?
Spencer Brown's one of them who I like, but let's not reach. Stone Forsythe.
Yeah.
Who's the other one too? There's one in the MAC conference he's good. I actually kind of like him, but like again, do you have to take this guy early? No. If the threshold is true, I do like Brady Christensen. And somebody else I like. Really, I mean, Sam Cosmi too. Like those would be 2 tackles where I'd be like, that's okay if you take them at 17. I get it. I get why you do it.
Yeah, the Cosmi one's kind of the running joke on Twitter. Like, and people just don't realize he's like probably the most natural right tackle.
He's pretty good.
Like, I've been watching all the tackles, and I know a lot of people are like, I want this guy to fall here and this guy to fall here. Like Darisaw would be my preference. Like if he fell to 17, like he's my number 1 guy for the Raiders there. But then Cosmi's probably the second like right tackle in my opinion. So
yeah, no, I like him a lot. So all right, well, you kind of led into it, but this is a Gypsy King Stan account at the big STD. Says per Peter Schrager, the Raiders are targeting offensive tackle or pass rush at 17. Based on that, who would your top 5 options be? So he's saying he's not top 5 tackles, top 5 rushers, just top 5 tackles and rushers. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I would probably go Kwity Paye, my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Slater and Sewell are gone.
Even Darisaw, I don't even think you could put him in there.
And I'm assuming that Paye's most likely gone too.
Yeah, maybe.
So for this scenario, I'm going to say Paye, Darisaw, Sewell, and Slater are gone. Yeah. Okay. So those 4 would immediately be number 1. But without them, I would say probably Vera Tucker. Everyone's going to hate that.
Oh, I love it.
I love him. Mm-hmm. He's versatile. And then I would probably go Jalen Phillips, number 2. And then I would go, if they were going to use Zaven Collins as an edge rusher,
right.
He would be somewhere in there, probably around 5. And then Cosmi would be 4, and Jenkins would be 3.
Okay.
So who did I say number 1 was?
Paye.
Oh, Vera Tucker.
Of Paye, yeah.
Phillips. Vera Tucker, Phillips. The other guy I said.
Yeah, I think you said Kwity Paye in there too. We'll just.
Kwity Paye would be my number 1, but I think he's going to be gone. I think he's going to go top 10. I think he's going to
I think you can put him in that list. I think it's fair to put him in the list.
So he'd be number 1, and then you would go Phillips would be somewhere in there, even with the concussions. He's killer. So
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. For my other one, second round grade, I wouldn't be thrilled with it, but you could talk me into Ronnie Perkins if they took Ronnie. I love Ronnie Perkins or Joseph Asai. I like those guys at 17.
Perkins is good.
Perkins is good. I think both of those guys are really good. I just would. I mean, it's still a reach, but it'd be a guy I like. So nonetheless,
it's different when they reach on someone you like. It is.
Like Damon Arnett, I was like, nah. Like the whole thing, I'm just like, no.
So, I remember, dude, I was arguing with some guy on Twitter the day before the draft last year, and somebody posted their like top their first round mock or whatever, and I hate these guys. Oh, well, that's stupid. You don't have this guy there, right? Well, make your own. First off, second, it was this Ohio State fan, and he was like, "How do you not have Damon Arnett in your top 10 corners to like somebody, right?" And I commented, I'm like, "Well, because there's 10 corners better than him. Like make your own." He's like, "Well, he's going to go in the first round." Like, no, he's not.
Damn.
And then the Raiders take him the next day, dude. He quote tweets me. He's like, "This fucking idiot, dude."
He brought up the sniper, Matt Damon, born identity.
Like, how did he know that? The Raiders didn't pick Damon Arnett 19, dude.
Nice. So I'll go. So at 17, I still like Jenkins. I like the value there because I think, again, I think Tevin Jenkins is a natural right tackle as well. So I like him there. I would go Pay after that because we'll allow Pay to be on the list because I think there's a decent chance he's there. Then it gets kind of tough. I like Cosme. This is kind of tough to put it in any kind of order here, but then Phillips, definitely just the concussions. He'd probably be number one on the list if it wasn't the concussions. And then let's see, the last one I would take. I would go Vera Tucker after that. I like Vera Tucker. He's probably higher on the list, honestly, but that just was the last name I thought of. But
yeah. He's like my number one guy. Like people,
I love him.
Like, people hate him. Like the Raider Twitter, they like to like follow.
Aren't they all USC fans?
Whatever the joke is.
Yeah, I thought half of Raider Twitter was USC fans, anyways. Like they're the ones telling me Sam Darnold's still good. I'm like, what? Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
No, he's not. No, the worst clean pocket accuracy in the league. How does that translate to being good somewhere else?
That's true.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like you can't just say that, fucking Trojan horse motherfuckers. Like I'm telling you. But anyways, let's get to the next one. Running through these pretty good. Okay, I like this one too. This is from Jim at Forever Slump. Who would you rather have? I feel like we're both gonna have the same answer here. This is a first and second round combination. He gave us a choice. Yeah. Darisaw and Cisco, or Morig and Eichenberg. I mean, it's Darisaw and Cisco.
Darisaw.
I mean, It's
but that's because like I prefer good. My thing is it's like the best player. So like Darisaw is better than like if you said put those 4 players on the board, he's the best player.
Yeah.
So it's like I will always choose the option with the best player. That's
and Cisco's a playmaker. I think this defense needs a Cisco. He's not like, I know some Raider fans are like juiced about Andre Cisco. I can't say that I'm one of them because I think he makes a lot of really dumb mistakes. But
welcome to the Raiders.
Well, but we get guys that have never had interceptions in their career that make dumb mistakes, like Nevin Lawson. This guy had what?
I'll never get over that dropped interception Nevin Lawson
from Pat Mahomes, where he could have walked in the end zone. Yeah, and the
ball's like 50 feet in the air.
Yeah,
at it.
Exactly. And so the Raiders do need that. And if you had Darisaw, who's probably one of the, other than Sewell, I would say tape and athleticism, probably the best combo between the two. Like I even think he's more athletic than Slater. Like you see it on the tape. I like Slater a lot. I still think Slater might end up being a guard at some point. But I think Darisaw is going to end up. I mean, it's clearly Darisaw. I mean, if Darisaw is there at 17 and the Raiders don't take him, I'm fucking throwing the laptop on the live stream. Like seriously,
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, get prepped for that, dude. I mean, there's going to be somebody that falls that we're
always
is like star guy.
I always did.
It's going to be, and a lot of people feel that way about Parsons. We'll get to Parsons.
Yeah, actually. So how about this one? This is a non-draft question from Tier. Tier Raiders 22. Shout out Tier. Says Raiders have the second best odds to trade for Julio Jones. That's crazy. I had to double check that. He's right. How would you feel if it happened?
I was arguing with people about this today, and I mostly put like, people just still can't understand that I'm trolling sometimes. Like I'm all, well, if Derek Carr's so elite, why do we still have to keep giving up assets for, offensive players? And it was a joke. However, that still applies. Like whatever you have to give up for Julio Jones at this point, in my opinion, is too much.
You even think it's that much? What do you think it is? I don't think it's that much. You got to take his deal.
I would think probably a second and a fifth, or a second and a sixth.
No, I'm thinking they take the AB deal, 3 and a 5, which I do.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it.
They're in cap hell, dude. They have no leverage unless Belichick is like, you can have my second this year and my first.
My thing is for me, it's like the number one wide receiver for the Raiders does not matter all that much, and if I'm going to give up picks, like I'd rather give up picks for like an elite defensive player. That's it. That's the only thing. I hear you. No, if they got Julio Jones, I'd be all over it. You know what I mean? But like, it's just not something that I would like go out of my way to do.
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate with you a little bit. I don't see it as a need. They don't have to do this. Like, in my opinion, like, you don't draft Henry Ruggs last year. It's not even a car thing to me. It's more so, why'd you draft a wide receiver at 11 or 12, whatever the hell they were, 12 last year, and then you go and sign 2 wide receivers in free agency. Not that these guys are insanely good or anything, but and you have your number one receiver as your tight end. Like, I'm not saying to me, you can never have too many weapons, but like, I wouldn't do a second. I would do a 3 and a 5, maybe some future stuff, like some future late round picks or something. Of course, they have to give the Falcons a 6th round pick to do it though. Yeah, always. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Raiders would give up a 6 or a pick.
Like, hold on. Hey, don't leave. You forgot your 6th round pick. And like, you forgot your debit card at the restaurant. And so, okay, next one. Let's see this. This one got let me read you this exchange. I won't say the name of the guy that replied, but this was wild. So this is the Parsons question. So this comes from Desto.
Oh, I saw that. Where the guy?
Yeah, I won't read the guy's name because I mean, whatever. Like, and if you're listening, if you're listening in the car with like your kids or something like that, like, pause it now and wait till they're gone. So he says, this is from Desto Hendricks. He says, can we really trust Gruden to draft Parsons if he's there at 17? So he's thinking the same thing as us with like Darisaw. They'll pass on him, right? So one guy just comes flying in. Meanwhile, these are questions for you and me, clearly in the question. He's like, I got the answer. And
you really want teammates raping you?
Yeah. No, I'll read it verbatim. He says, and do you really want a guy that raped college teammates in the ass, this guy says, with number 17 overall? And he says his red flags have red flags, but boy, what a talent. What to do? And I'm like, being facetious with it. I'm like, dude, okay, first off, like, the Raiders just signed a guy named Darius Fallon. He might not make the team. That guy just like pistol whipped a girl 2 years ago and stuff. So like, let's not pretend like we don't do it. And second off, Micah Parsons went to Penn State. That's probably like what you do at Penn State, right? Do we forget? And second and third of all, like, you take him. I'm sorry, you take him. You know who else was part of that whole rape fraternity thing that was going on? Yetur Gross-Matos. Yetur Gross-Matos was there. Whether he was watching, filming, I have no idea. He's there. But guess what? The Titans didn't pass on him. So it's like, Micah Parsons is way better. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Titans, Panthers. And yeah, like, so I just think, like, you take the good player, man. And on no other, he's going to fall to 17 for a reason. It's probably that. And because of the position.
I think he's like 100%. I'm willing to do a prop bet on it right now. Parsons is going to be there at 17. I've
been saying that.
I don't think it's a matter of like if he's there. I think he is going to be there.
And he interviewed well.
I would double down on my bet that the Raiders pass on him.
I think, yeah. But okay. This goes back to the Albert Breer quote. They want a linebacker who can play, like, close to the line of scrimmage on rundowns, and then come in as the blitz package guy, like Bruce Irvin used to do in Gus Bradley defenses. Now, Parsons is way better at that than Jamin Davis would be. Parsons, I think, has a really good upside as a pass rusher. Like, I think he's got the frame to put on a little more weight if you ask him to do that. And I think it's a worthy thing. And he plays the run really well, and not like in a Cleveland Furl, like stiff body kind of way. Like, he really goes out and gets it. The open field tackles, the jet sweeps that they're going to run against you. That's the guy.
First off, nobody came out and said that like Micah Parsons did that. Like the one and he's part of it. Like I've read a little more deep into it. There was like some practice, like some kid that wasn't even like a starter on the team was like the ringleader of the whole thing. And like, you get these freshmen.
Was his last name Sandusky or no?
Yeah, right.
Jerry
I think
Devin
when it comes to
Sandusky.
beating women and all that, it's like they don't people those guys deserve to that dude, that practice squad Seahawks player who everybody compares to Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he deserves to burn, you know what I mean? But at some point, the Chiefs took, a flyer on Tyreek Hill. And guess what? Every single Chiefs fan's happy he's on their team. The Raiders need to they pretend like they're the fan base and the staff, they pretend like we're looking for choir boys. However, then they completely go off script and they break that rule for Darius Philbin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So do it for good players. Break the rules for good players.
That was because Ted Nguyen posted the same thing not long ago, and I don't think Ted was being antagonistic by it or anything. He was just like, dude, the Raider, do you think the Raiders have the infrastructure to take on a character issue like Micah Parsons? They just brought in Antonio Brown a couple years ago. They've been doing it. So give me somebody that's good if that's the MO. This isn't the Reggie McKenzie era anymore where Reggie McKenzie.
You've been drafting fucking team captains for the last 4 years.
For this reason. Yeah. And one of them, again, Devin White's a captain. Cleveland Farrell isn't. That's all I'm saying. And but nonetheless, let's get off of that. Oh man. I like this guy, man. This is at AARBZ, but I know it's just wishful thinking, and a lot of fans are doing this today. But hypothetical, and this is very much hypothetical. If the Raiders were to move up to get a QB, how far would they have to move? And or would they need to trade Carr to accumulate enough draft capital to move that high?
Yeah, I mean, they would have to move up past
Denver
at 9.
You have to trade with Carolina, is what you have to do.
The ideal spot would be Carolina or Detroit.
And that's assuming Denver doesn't move up to 4.
Yeah. And so to move up from 17 to 7 or 8, you would have to give up this year's first and second, next year's first, and more. So I don't think it would happen. And then, yeah, I mean, what would you get for Carr? A couple seconds. So, I mean, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
But ideally, you would do it to a team. See, if the Patriots are picking ahead of us, I would say maybe they like Carr. You can trade up.
Cold weather stats. Yeah.
Throw a couple first in there and throw Carr in there. But
it's just not happening.
If I were Raider fans,
it's not happening.
If I were Raider fans, I would iron the Derek Carr jerseys. He's going to be here one more year.
At least.
If the Raiders, I'll say this, man, if they start 0-4 this year, Mariota might be the quarterback the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to trade up to draft a guy. You might see them. They might take a flyer on a guy in the 3rd.
Sure. Kellen Mond would be awesome. Or Kellen Mond, any of these guys, man. Yeah.
Any of those guys, they might take a flyer there. That if you're looking at a quarterback in this draft, they didn't say John Gruden's looking at top 10 quarterbacks. They said the Raiders have inquired on all the top quarterbacks. That's any of them. Kyle Trask.
And who knows what Gruden's top quarterbacks are? That's why I put that. I put that joke.
This draft could be Sam Ellinger.
That's what I'm. And I put in that. I put a joke tweet that was Gruden's top 5 quarterbacks. Number 1 was Carr, in the current draft class. Then it was Mac Jones. Then it was Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, this guy's got a crazy draft board, man.
And throw Ian Book in there somewhere.
Please don't. I don't ever want to see Ian Book throw anything again. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm done. I'm fucking done with that guy. I know he's from your neck of the woods. He can fuck off. But you can tell it's an edgy week. We're normally way more chill, and now we're going Joker mode on this podcast. You could tell it's a couple days before the draft. We're just so traumatized.
You don't like my some dude. Okay, so I posted a mock draft, and it was traded down and got Newsom, then got Richie Grant, then got Brady Christensen. Okay, and somebody posted, but this is the worst fucking mock draft. If the Raiders did that, you should be doing backflips.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Yeah.
No, and it's accurate. It's very possibly what they would do.
I would. I could see. I at first. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll put it this way. The third. Let me walk you through if that actually happened. I'd be pissed Thursday night. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, Richie, come on. I'd be a little mad at that. I like Richie Grant, but I'm like, nobody else.
No, it was Newsom in the first.
Oh, Newsom. I'm sorry. I thought you said Richie Grant. My bad.
And then Richie Grant was pick 48.
Oh yeah. No, I'm all in. Yeah. Sign me up. Yeah. No, Newsom, Grant, and Christensen. That means you filled 2 holes in your secondary and you found your starting right tackle. what more did you want out of this draft? Like, but again, like, so yeah, I don't know. Let me see what else we got here. No, that's not really, we kind of already talked about that. Yeah, what would you do if the Raiders reached on Alex Leatherwood at 17? Well, I wouldn't be that mad.
I mean, Leatherwood.
It's very athletic. It's.
But I mean, they're not. I don't think he's in the picture. But I did hear a rumor they like him, so maybe 48. So.
Trade up to 5. Yeah, get him. Make sure you get him. But yeah. So no, it's. I don't know, man. What do you think, dude? Like, did you take any props? You took props, right?
Yeah, I did. So there was a prop on Jamin Davis, 41.5. He was over under, so I under.
Yeah.
And then I did the under on Quiddy Pay, 17.5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. And then
if the Raiders get him, you win twice.
Yep. And because I think he's going like 10.
Okay.
I did the over on Najee Harris, 29.5. You and I talked about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, you got 32.5, I think.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck, dude? I was hella mad about that.
Then I did like a little side one that I think Slater is going to be the first offensive tackle taken. It was like plus 600 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did $20 on that. But that's pretty much the ones I think are locked. There was a Trey Lance one. And I think I'm going to go throw some money on that now. It's over under 7.5.
For who?
Trey Lance.
Oh, under.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, but, I took the Raiders. I took the Raiders going offense. They had plus odds on the Raiders going offense at 17. I think they're going defense personally, but I'm like, I'll take the odds. I mean, odds, could just get a tackle. If they just get a tackle, then I win. Like with something they need.
I think that like everybody wants to, obviously like you guess and like you think about like what rumors are coming out. And I just think like picking, like if we were picking top 10, it'd be pretty okay. These rumors are legit.
Yeah.
Like the Niners and Mac Jones, like that's a legit rumor because they're picking number 3.
Right.
Now picking at 17, it doesn't matter. They could be linked to Jamin Davis. Well, what if Denver picks them? Like they won't, but like it's possible that like, so there's all these like,
Arizona.
guys.
What if Arizona grabs them the pick before? How about that?
Exactly. I think that's like, all of this like is obviously speculation, but when you're picking that late in the draft, the rumors really mean a lot less because you just don't know. Like, oh, the Raiders are like Hondo Carpenter. The Raiders are very interested in Micah Parsons if he falls to 17. Well, yeah, cool. They're interested in the best linebacker in the class at 17 if he falls. Cool, good info. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be interested in players that fall to 17. Duh. But like putting like I believe this guy. If this guy falls, the Raiders will be like duh. It's like if Jalen Waddle falls, I'm sure they'll be interested. Like
sure, I'd be mad if you weren't. I'd be mad if you weren't.
So, I mean, I'm hoping for like a Quiddy Pay or something, but we'll see. And I do think the Raiders, there is a possibility they trade up.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to trade up and get a quarterback, but like there is a possibility they might try to jump Arizona, who has a lot of the same needs.
Yeah.
So
or maybe try to jump the Chargers to get like Darisaw.
Their needs are the same. Like,
to get Darisaw,
tackles, edge, corners, safeties. Like they need everything the Raiders need at 13. So that's like possible. They might trade up to 12. The Eagles have shown they're willing to move. So
I could see it now. And okay, last question. Got to pick one person for them to take at 17 that you just think they're going to take. Who's it going to be?
I said Greg Newsome on the last show.
Okay.
I think that he fits Bradley. But for this instant, I'm going to go back to the well, and I'm going to go back to 3 months ago and say Christian Barmore. That's who I think they're going to take.
Oh boy, and I'm see there. I go back and forth because like I want to say
after
Tevin
releasing Hurst, right?
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, they have a lot of tackles, right?
But they brought in a few. They brought in more than they released.
They don't have a tackle on the roster past this year.
It's true.
They don't have a tackle on the roster in 2022.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So it's a lot bigger of a need than people think, and it's Alabama.
I know.
So that's just my guess. So
yeah. So I'll it's tough. I would I just think I'm gonna say it. Like, I think it's Parsons. I'm gonna say it. I think it's Parsons. I think they're gonna. I think
I'd be okay with it. It's not my biggest love pick, but
well, one guy that wouldn't be. I'll tell you that much.
yeah. I cannot believe they took this guy who rapes his teammates.
I know, like like I'm not saying like, oh, it wasn't something all fucked up, but it's like, damn, dude, like you really 0 to 100 on that one.
I was like, dude, it is 9:30 in the morning. Calm the fuck down.
Last gulp of coffee. He's like,
that's my
Parsons.
whole thing with like Raider Twitter, dude. Is I'll wake up. Like I wake up for work pretty early. It's like 5:30 in the morning. And, like,
yeah, me too.
I'll have like a thing. It'll be like an at like 5:25. You're a fucking idiot, Fattest Malin. The Raiders would never reach on this guy.
Yeah.
Did you miss the past 25 fucking years? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even excited about the draft. I'm just assuming it's gonna suck.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
it's funny. You know. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Parsons, man. That's how I've been. Like I've always felt that Parsons was gonna be there at 17 because he's just not everybody needs Michael Parsons on their team. So
all right, Parsons and Barmore. That's our picks.
Fuck. Yeah.
As far as
I hope I'm right.
Gonna be there. My want is Tucker. So
yeah, no, that'd be sick. He would be number 2 who I think they would take because I think he's got that guard tackle versatility, even if he doesn't have the long arms that Tom Cable wants, even though his arm length is decent, but he doesn't have the long arms. He could still be a guard for the team. And I know you don't want to take a guard, but I think you think he's a damn good guard, even if he.
I was arguing with somebody about that. Yesterday again. Like I'm like, you take a guard. Like, do you think the Colts are happy they took Quentin Nelson? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. All right, man. Well, he's at Fattest Malin on Twitter. I'm at Glenn Rockney. I'm gonna stream. Either it's gonna be from it'll be on the YouTube channel. We might go live on YouTube. I have to figure out exactly what I'm gonna be doing for it, but there will be a stream. Hopefully I'm off work in time. But I think if we started by pick 10, the draft lags, so I could see. I'm pretty sure I'll be home. So we'll do it up until the Raiders pick. We'll break down the Raiders pick. Who knows how we'll be feeling? It's gonna be crazy, but
drunk.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Matt's beer brigade.
Yeah, yes, we're gonna do a beer. We have to chug an IPA if it's one of our 2 guys.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, deal. All right, guys, that's it for us.
All right.